She goes to Vegas, and what happens in Vegas is always crazy. If you don't have a crazy Vegas story, did you even go? Hey, my fellow readers. Welcome back to Just Albany Reads, where I discuss books that I'm interested in and recommend books to you. So let's just get right into the video. So for today, I'm going to tell you my anticipated book releases that I'm personally excited that is coming out and that I want to read. Now, who knows if I'm gonna read them in 2021, but I'm excited for them, and I definitely want to get my hands on them, either by audiobook, you know, from my tablet, or a physical copy. So yeah, let's get straight into the video. But yeah, so for this year, I kind of been, or not even this year, but towards the end of like right now, like December 2020, I've been really interested in reading books that are about something else, or like a retelling. I've been really interested in retellings, and I've created like a whole list, and I kind of want to do a video by the end of the year of like my favorite book retellings. But speaking of that though, I do have three books to mention. I'm missing one, so it really would have been technically 22 recommendation. I remember someone mentioning the Great Gatsby book retelling that's coming out this year. I can't remember what his name, and it'll be funny if I go through my list and it's there, and when I looked at the synopsis, I just didn't realize that it was that book. But anybody knows what that book is, comment down below. But that's also a part of my list. But the first one I have is a Peter Pan retelling, and it's called Lost in Never Woods. And this one is a young adult fiction. It's coming out March 23rd, 2020. So yay, March. My birthday is in March, but I'm a Pisces. Even I think that's a Pisces. No, that's an Aries. That's an Aries. But anyway, yeah, this book is more a kind of mystery, like thriller. Children go missing, and then the people come to Wendy. And Wendy, I guess, is eventually gonna go into this Neverwoods to try to find these children. So yeah, that seems interesting. That's a different concept. The next one, still a retelling. It's called Daughter of Sparta by Claire M. Andrews. And this is a James Patterson Presents novel, which I love me some James Patterson. I really enjoy his books. But this is an author, I guess, under him. But it's about Sparta, Spartan warriors. The girl learns to fight, or she is a fighter, or something like that. So it seems like there's going to be a lot of action packed, and I believe the god Artemis and the god Apollo is within it. So that's pretty much all I know. But again, who doesn't like Sparta and Spartans? So yeah. The next one is another Greek mythology one, and it's called Lore by Alexandra Bracken. And this one is basically every 7 years, as a punishment for rebellion, 9 Greek gods are forced to walk the earth as mortals, hunted by descendants of ancient bloodlines, all eager to kill a god and seize their divine power of immortality. So that's really all you need to know. To me, that's interesting, like gods being stripped of their powers and then being hunted. So the next book is called The Final Revival of Opal and Nev by Donnie Walton. Now this book is not historical fiction, but it's like a time period fiction, and it's about fictional rock and roll duo. in the 1970s New York. And you know, it's just giving you Afro punk. That's to deal with like musical with music. So yeah, I feel like this is going to be interesting, and I'm sure it's going to be some type of twist. And it's a female and it's a male, probably some love interest there, I'm sure. So I'm excited for this book. I'm really excited for this book because it's more different than kind of what I typically read. This one's called The Chosen and the Beautiful. I'm not going to butcher this name. You see the picture. But anyway, this is with an Asian female character who grows up in the 1920s American society around the jazz age. She's also queer. Yeah, I'm just interested in how it's being readapted with The Great Gatsby. I never read the book, but I've definitely seen the movie. This book, and I've definitely seen it in other YouTubers' videos. Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. Now I know about this book. I don't even have to look and try to read it. So the main character in this book, she has her life set, her plans set. She's kind of by the book. She goes to Vegas, and what happens in Vegas is always crazy. If you don't have a crazy Vegas story, did you even go? No, you didn't. You didn't go if you don't have a crazy Vegas story. So she has a crazy Vegas story. She wakes up and she is now married to a woman. Wings of Ebony by J.L. And this is a fantasy book that I've seen on other YouTube videos. I want to try to catch at least one or two of these new release urban fantasy books. But this one, Ancestral Magic, I see that word. This is perfect for fans of the Hunger Games. Rue is the only half god, half human. So okay, so it's demigods going on. So yeah, this one, like I said, I don't know too much about this one. The cover, and that is an urban fantasy. The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna. Again, another book that people have been talking about. New series alert. So trying to get hip to these new series early on with everybody else in BookTube so we can all talk about it. This one's February 2021, and this one, I'm not sure, like in her village there's two different types of bloods. I think one's gold and one is just normal blood, red blood. And if you have gold blood, then you are an outcast to the village and they try to kill you, but they actually can't kill you. And she's going to join, like, I guess a group of warriors, something along that lines. But it's in the urban fantasy realm. That's all I kind of really needed to know. And just look at the cover. So this next book is called The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan He. And this one just looks like it's just going to be a heart-wrenching book. And I'm just all here for it. This one is about a young girl who wakes up in like this forest, this cabin, all alone. She can't remember anything, but she remembers that she has a sister. So she just has to go and find her sister. So the next book is The Forest of Stolen Girls by June Her. I think that's how you pronounce it. And so this one is basically about a teenage girl who comes back to her hometown because her father is now missing, and he was or is a detective, and he was trying to solve the mystery of these 13 girls that had disappeared. And so she comes back to try to find her father and solve this mystery. So it's just giving me like Nancy Drew type of vibes, and I just really like Nancy Drew. I really do. I like the books. I like to watch the different movies and the TV shows that come up. I just really like a female detective-ish detective. Yeah. So interested in this book, and it's set in Korea. The next book, again, another urban fantasy debut, Bloodlike Magic, is coming out June 15th. So it looks like the main character is set on a journey, or set to try to save her family's magic, their bloodline. So it's going to be a new series. Like I said, just witches is what jumped out to me. This book right here is called Love is a Revolution by Renee Watson. Look at this cover. Just look at it. This is one of the books that I just really want to have, just because of the cover. So this book is about a young woman who, she kind of is like to herself, and I think it kind of reminds me of my own self. So she's kind of like to herself. I'm not sure like what her activities are, but you know, from what I kind of read, like a homebody, or just like, you know, go to the movies or whatever. And she meets this boy who is like an activist, something along those lines, and he's just very passionate about things. So she, I guess, to kind of impress him, or like to be a part of the crowd, she basically starts white lying. And I can definitely kind of relate to that. Like, I probably did a little like, oh yeah, I'm interested in football. So I think it's going to just be a really cute romantic love story, and I think I just kind of, from the synopsis, kind of see a little bit of myself, as well as see myself in the character that's being portrayed. So the next book is Witches Steeped in Gold. I know this is a Jamaican inspired fantasy, a cat and mouse twisted tale. I think it's actually like two enemies that have to kind of work together. So two different witches, maybe from like different tribes, or like something, or different something, that have to work together. But so that's going to be interesting. I think I'm the most excited for this urban fantasy, from like kind of where I briefly read and like heard other people say. Again, I didn't do too much like research, because I just kind of want to just read them. So the next book is We Are Not Like Them by Christine Pride and Joe Pizza. So this one is told in two alternate perspectives. So one is a black woman and one is a white woman, and some type of crazy epic event is going to happen that kind of brings them together and takes a look into their lives, culture, and all of that. So I just think the cover is cute, and I just think it's just going to be a very interesting read. It's the genre says thriller, suspense, and contemporary. So the next book is already being adapted to a film, being played by Millie Bobby Brown, the girl from Stranger Things. So I'm definitely interested in reading this book and then seeing the movie and comparing the two. So it is called The Girls Ive Been, and pretty much the main character was raised by an infamous con artist, and she herself kind of became a prodigy of her. But once her mother kind of fell off, she decided to be more normal and try to play normal. But then she somehow becomes a hostage in a bank heist, and she is noticing everything that they're doing wrong. And I'm sure it's just going to be kind of a great like thriller, and maybe she's going to help out. I'm not sure, but it seems very interesting, and the cover is really cute too. And I know kind of in my mind, when you think about that type of plot, when they do it into a movie form, it's Millie Bobby Brown's probably gonna really kill it, I'm sure. Next book is The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Pinner. Sarah Pinner. This is about an apothecary that creates poisons that women can buy, and they can poison men. And there's some rules that goes along. You can't poison other women. It just, it's a historical fiction book. Comes out in March. The Lost Apothecary is a subversive and intoxicating exploration of women rebelling against a man's world, the destructive force of revenge, and the remarkable ways women can save each other despite the barrier of time. I'm really into reading and listening to audiobooks more so on nonfiction books. I really like reading about people's lives, so like memoirs, autobiographies, and I'm trying to get more into, I want to read more books about like social science and business books and entrepreneurship. I don't know, and just grow. Like I think I mentioned in my previous blog, I like to also read things that helps me grow as a person. So, and sometimes I find like fiction, like even though you can get lessons and you can still gain like empathy and compassion, and there's a whole great things that can still happen when you read fiction books. But sometimes I do like with nonfiction that it's just point blank, and like this is what happened in my life, this is how I overcame it, and it just brings it more real. It's a real life example. And then I also just like I said, learning about different ways that I can improve, and also like learning about the society as a whole and how things affect us, like technology, social media, you know, just plain working, a 9-to-5 job or a job in general. Like I just like reading and learning about those type of things in an interesting way. I can't listen or read something that's boring, but there are some nonfiction books on this list. So the first one is Somebody's Daughter. It's a memoir by Ashley C. Ford. And with this one, and it says about that and the path we must take to both honor and overcome our origins. So this one is called Aftershocks, Dispatches from the Front Lines of Identity by Nadia Owasu. I don't want to mispronounce that. This one is a biography coming out January 12th. So this poetic genre-bending work, blending memoir with cultural history from Whitting Award winner Nadia Owasu, grapples with the fault lines of identity, the meaning of home, black womanhood, and the ripple effects of both personal and generational of emotional trauma. Next one is Abolition, Feminism Now by Angela Y. Davis. This one's just an analysis of kind of what's going on in the world of abolition and feminism, just womanhood right now. This book right here is, again, like, I don't know if it's deemed social science, but it's called Work Won't Love You Back, How Devotion to Our Jobs Keeps Us Exploded, Exhausted, and Alone. That title, just right there, I'm just interested in diving in some of the principles or the thoughts that the author, which I forgot to say, her name is Sarah Jaffe, is mentioning back, and also maybe reading. And the next one is Run to Win, Lessons in Leadership for Women Changing the World by Christina Reynolds and Stephanie Shidrow. And I didn't really look at I've read the synopsis a little bit, but the title kind of explains it all. So I'm sure it's going to be a very inspirational book, again, on womanhood and leadership in this, you know, in today's society as of now. And y'all, I'm not very good I'm not very good at explaining stuff when I haven't really read them. Like, I did look at these synopses, and I heard some of the synopses for some of these books on other YouTubers. But please, disclaimer, I am not the best synopsis giver. Yeah, let me know any other books that are coming out this year that have you excited, that maybe I could also put on my radar. So thank you so much for watching again, and see you next time. Toodaloo.